So I am Carla Scarabino. I am the Chief Development Officer at Tigger House. I'm excited to be here for yet another speaker series and hear some great stories that are always leave me feeling very inspired. I'm gonna turn it over to Michaela to introduce herself.
Hey guys, Michaela, I'm one of the ambassadors here. Happy Friday, Junior. We're almost there. Carly.
Hey everyone, I'm Carly Dietrich. I am Tigger House Foundation's Addiction Navigator and Student Alliance Coordinator. I did want to share with you that, as the Addiction Navigator and as Tigger House Foundation, we are really, supporting our community in their time of need. And I had a mom reach out to me who needed help. I was able to direct her to treatment, gave her options. She chose where she decided to go, encouraged her to leave her family for a couple of days to get into detox and really take care of herself. And I always try not to cry while I'm saying this or reading this, but I just want to share with you why what we do is so important. And all of you on the call tonight for getting the word out about Tigger House and being so supportive. I always follow up and stay in touch. And she said, everything is great. Just wanted to thank you for all of your help and support. She's forever grateful. She said, enjoy the beautiful day. And she said, you should know that you changed my life and directed me to a wonderful facility for help. I've never felt better. One day, I hope to pay it forward. May God always bless you and your family. Gives me goosebumps and chills, and she's doing well, and we made another friend. And I will meet with her and have lunch one day because this is what we do. So just really want to thank you guys for all that you do because we're making an impact. And I'm sorry, my intro is always a little bit lengthy, but I always have something to share with you.
Love it.
So let's see, Jake, what's going on?
Everyone, I'm Jake Burns. I'm a Tigger House ambassador, and I'm really excited to hear my buddy Tommy speak tonight.
Awesome.
So do I pass it?
You can pass it, yeah.
All right, let's pass it to Stephanie.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Reynolds, Kaylee's mom. She'll be jumping on in a minute. I've known Tommy for a lot of years. Very excited to see how you've grown into such a wonderful young man. Look forward to what you have to say tonight. I have no idea who I'm passing it to. Jake, you're gonna have to pick somebody else now.
Oh man, I was really hoping you were gonna do that. All right, let's see. Let's pass it to Dan.
Hey, my name's Dan Mooney, and I'm a junior at CBA, and I'm a co-president of the Student Alliance. And I'm very excited to hear what you have to say for us tonight, Tommy. I'll pass it to Robert.
Hi, my name is Tyler. I'm an 8th grade student at Knollwood, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. It's good to see you tonight. Thanks for joining. Go ahead, Molly.
Hi, I'm Molly, and I'm a sophomore at Trinity Hall, and I'm also very excited to hear what you have to say.
Awesome.
Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. First, I just would like to say, if you like and enjoy our speaker series, please feel free to follow us on social media, follow our YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and you will get to see more of these. Kaylee, how are you? I see you jumped on. You want to just say a quick hello?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Kaylee Reynolds. I was a speaker on the series the last session.
Awesome. Good to see you.
Thanks. Good
Great.
to see you all too.
So I'm going to let Tommy kind of take on the introduction. I just want to say that just like Stephanie, I have known Tommy, I think since you were in 1st grade. Tommy is a graduate of St. James, RBC, and most recently Boston College. I'm not going to steal his thunder, so I'm not going to say another word. I'm going to let him decide what he wants to speak to us about. But he is an amazing human being, and I am really excited that he so graciously decided to join us tonight. All you, Tommy.
Thank you for the introduction. First of all, I want to say my internet connection has been unstable this whole time. So if this goes off the rails,
You're
I've
good.
been hearing only been hearing half of all your words, and that's making me a little more nervous than I already was. So that, we're off to a flying start. Thank you all for coming, especially Jake, Kaylee, and Mrs. Reynolds. Kaylee, I haven't seen you in so long. It's so good to see you, Kaylee.
Same, Tommy.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm already an emotional mess. Shit. So yeah, to give some background on who I am, all of you are frozen. This is making me so nervous. I'm 23 years old. As Mrs. Scarabino said, I am a graduate of St. James, Red Bank Catholic, and Boston College. And yeah, a little bit of background on me. I honestly had a really great childhood and have had a really good life. I've always had incredible, loving family, friends who care for me, who are always there for me, good people, fun people. And it's been good. I grew up in a great environment. St. James was an incredible environment to grow up in. So was Red Bank. It was a small community of people who cared about each other, and that's real. Oh, I'm getting a message. Oh, connection is perfect. Thank you. You guys are still frozen on my screen.
Oh.
So I am bugging. Yeah. Yeah. So again, grew up in a really strong, supportive environment of people. And that's always important, especially when shit hits the fan. It can seem less important during the less difficult times, but during the difficult times, it increases exponentially. And all of you have that as well, whether you realize it or not. People care about you. It might not feel like it all the time, but they do. I know this because you all have this incredible support system of the Student Alliance. That's why you're here. You all have a passion for helping people, particularly people struggling with addiction. And if you have that passion, you probably understand the importance of being supported and what that can mean. I know the other students care about you. Your mentors care about you. Carly, Amy, and Carla, Mrs. Scarabino. I can't call you Carla. I wrote that down. Care about you too. But this can be easy to forget. I probably forget it less than other people because of my experiences so far in life. Oh, you guys are moving again. That's really good. Yeah, I lived a lot of life my first 14 years or so, about 14 years of life. Same as most people make it that far. I played sports. Baseball was and still is my favorite. I went to the beach, hung out with friends, went to school. I probably spent $1,000 on Mr. Pizza Slice, normal kid stuff. However, the crux of my story starts 9 years ago, 9 years and 1 week exactly, actually. On that day, April 22nd, 2012, Earth Day. I'm not a huge fan of Earth Day, to be frank with you. Not because the Earth's good, but that was a tough day for me. On that day, I woke up with the pain in my left side. I didn't know what it was, and I had a baseball game to play, and that was important to me at the time. And, so I ignored this pain. I honestly figured it was gas or something, nothing that was going to stop me from playing ball. However, when I got to the field and started warming up, took a lap around, all that, the pain was still there. In fact, it was getting worse and worse. So I told my coach. He gave me the first couple innings off in the field. So all I would have to do is hit, kind of hedge our bets, I guess. So during my first time up at bat, I drew a walk. I don't know if any of you play baseball or softball are familiar. For those of you who are not, a walk does not involve strenuous activity. So the pain was still manageable up to that point. The batter after me walked as well, so I moved along to second base, and then the kid after him hit a ball right up the middle, which meant now it was time for me to run. Now it was time for me to test that pain in my side. The 180 feet I had to run to score from second base were the most painful 180 feet of my life. Never been stabbed, but that's what I imagine it feels like. Also, knock on wood for the future stabbing happening or not happening. You know, you never know. And as it turns out, that pain in my side was from my spleen being enlarged, a symptom of leukemia. Fortunately, the doctors at review realized this right away. Mrs. Reynolds was one of those doctors. Oh boy. And so they got me figured out. They called up the amazing folks at Robert Wood Johnson, which is a hospital in New Brunswick. They came down from there in an ambulance to bring me to their oncology floor to get things addressed right away. A couple days later, after a spinal tap and bone marrow biopsy, I was officially diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, a blood and bone marrow cancer. Acute myeloid leukemia, or AML, is a cancer where the body essentially stops making good white blood cells, which fight against infections, and rapidly starts making bad ones, which actively prevent our bodies from fighting infections. This quickly weakens the body's immune system and is life-threatening. What followed this diagnosis were 4 intense rounds of chemotherapy, which made me a resident of the second floor of Robert Wood Johnson, the pediatric oncology wing, for 23 of the following 28 weeks, which is, I mean, it's not crazy long, but it's a pretty long time to be living in a hospital. And during those 7 months, essentially living out of a hospital bed, I learned a lot about life, a lot that I had not known about before. I learned about pain, fear, and sorrow, and I learned a whole lot more about love, hope, and joy. I learned what it's like to have cancer, or at least what it was like for me to have cancer. I learned what it was like to struggle. You don't have to have an experience like a cancer diagnosis to learn about struggle. We all learn about it at some point in some kind of way. And this was just my particular way of learning. Like I said, it was a pretty good life before that. Of course, you know, I had struggles, but this one knocked me on my ass more than anything else up to that point. And you know, I'm still learning about struggle. Life is peaks and valleys, and there's good peaks and there's low valleys, and managing that is the learning process. So through cancer, I learned what it's like to develop mouth sores from a drug that's saving your life, literally saving your life. But these sores cause you so much pain, you can't eat. I learned what it's like to stay up all night, unable to sleep because you can't get disturbing, terrifying thoughts out of your head. I learned what it's like to sit in a room next door as a child dies from the same disease that you have. I also learned what it's like to have friends like Jacob, visit the hospital to spend time with you, to keep you laughing, smiling. I learned that strangers do incredible things for people, like raise money, awareness. They send prayers your way, life-saving stuff, and life-improving stuff. And I knew Miss Scarabino was going to be on this. She put on, I don't know if you're still involved with Beauty Foundation, but they're an amazing organization. You are.
Thank you.
That's she co-founded an organization, and among many other things that they do, they used to put on a prom at the hospital. So I guess she wasn't a stranger to me, but she was a stranger to everyone else there. And it was a prom for kids like me who were stuck there or had been stuck there at some point. And it just made them feel important, feel loved, feel special. And yeah, I got off my bullet points a little bit there. I learned what it's like, you know, go for reals. I learned what it's like to watch your parents take turns, you know, sleeping in a hospital bed carved out of the side of the wall, because they love you so much and they don't want you to spend a night alone. And at the end of those 7 months, I learned something that other people don't necessarily get to learn. I learned what it's like to ring the bell as you leave the oncology wing, knowing you're cancer free. And unlike many other people, I've gotten to do that twice. A few months after first ringing that bell, after first being declared cancer free, I was back at the hospital's cancer clinic for a routine checkup and blood draw. That day, I was told that my white blood cell count was dangerously high. Again, I was told that my cancer was back. That moment was the most soul-crushing moment of my life, more so than the first diagnosis. And that's because of all the things that I'd learned before, both the good and the bad. I thought I'd learned my lesson and from that first experience, and I had to go through it again. So I underwent my new, more difficult treatment, this time with more intense chemo, many days of both full body and cranial radiation, spinal taps and biopsies and all kinds of scans, PET scans and CAT scans, dog scans. That's a scan joke. There's no dog scans. And this time, my treatment plan was for me to have a bone marrow transplant, a procedure in which some of another person's stem cells, often family members, but in my case, a complete strangers, become new stem cells for my bone marrow, becoming the hopefully healthy foundation of my immune system. And on April 10th, 2013, this amazing transformation occurred through a simple blood transfusion. A stranger saved my life by sharing the teensiest bit of himself with me. And because of this, I had a brand new immune system. Once again, the power of support, of love, of care, and all things good came through and helped me. I had a good immune system for the first time in quite a long time. And it's still been a good one because since then I've been cancer free. And since then, there's no doubt that my life has been different than it otherwise would have been. I have certain limits because of my health history, but I'm very fortunate to be back to what is essentially full health, just mostly things to monitor. I've gained a perspective that I feel really fortunate to possess. Every day is important. There's no day that you should take for granted, even the bad ones, because there's bad ones. Some days suck, but even those ones are good days. Yeah, and you know, I feel lucky because of that perspective. I also feel lucky because of the outpouring of kindness I received from every corner of my community and beyond my community. And I realized a few things from that. One, people are good. And another is that people have this incredible power to be good, this power to make a difference. When I was sick, there were a lot of tough days, and I would not have made it through those tough days without the many kindnesses I received, both large and small. It's important to pay that back. I'm trying to pay it back. It can save lives. And there's a number of ways to do this, like volunteering for an organization like Tigger House, which you guys are doing, which is incredible. I'm fortunate that you guys asked me to speak. I spent my last 4 years of college dedicating way too many minutes of my life to Relay for Life and the American Cancer Society. I don't skip class to put on charity events, or do. I mean, but what's said is said. But there's other ways to make a difference beyond that, beyond structured volunteering time. Just smile at a stranger. Send your friend a goofy Snapchat. Donate $1 to the thing that someone's asking you to donate $1 for. It feels good. But most importantly, just be a supportive person. I was fortunate because I was a kid who publicly had cancer. I had a bald head. People support that person. Not everyone's struggle is that public and receives that level of support. Most struggles are private. Most struggles feel lonely, and we can't help everyone. But being that supportive person that someone might go to, or at the very least that they know they can go to, is maybe the most important thing that we can do. You never know what someone is truly going through. So be there, try your best. And that's kind of all I got. I know I didn't talk as long as my buddy Jake. He crushed an hour of it. I'm running out of words already, but
Awesome.
thank you guys for listening.
Tommy, I am floored because everything that you spoke about being there for someone, you just summed up in your whole life experience. I'm sorry. I know I'm almost stuttering, but we always talk about that stuff, about being there, about you don't know what someone is going through. I feel like you read our minds as to what we're trying to do and put together a presentation that took your experience and turned it into something that could be so important for young people and students. I'll start off with a question, just because I'm so impressed between
Sure.
You, Kaylee, and Jacob. I think have similar stories where you went through some struggles and overcame them and actually became your most amazing best selves. But I'm sure there was a lot of, like you talked about, fear and sorrow, and I'm sure anxiety and all those things as you were going through it. What advice do you have to someone, when they're going through something that they really don't know anything about? There's no information, there's no education, they're scared. Like, what would you say was maybe the thing that helped get you through some of that?
There's a few things. I definitely had a pretty positive outlook throughout things, and not every day, not every minute. And I'm not sure that can be learned. My parents were literally the two best people on the fucking planet. Excuse my
They are.
French.
Yeah.
That's the saying, right? So, but again, if you're there for people, you realize if you can come to the realization, and it's not easy to come through, that not only do you care about people, but people care about you. There's people who are there for you. You might not realize it. You might feel alone, but they're there. So it can be scary to reach out for help, especially when people aren't seemingly, or it doesn't seem like they're reaching into you. But just, it's not easy to put into words, but
No, but that was, I think what you said is
there
really
for-
important,
there are
reaching out, like
there's support.
that people are there. Does anyone
They
have
are.
any questions or things they want to talk about with Tommy?
Tommy, that was, I mean, from knowing you so long, that was such, you hit the hat, like, I'm at a loss of words. It was a great presentation, Tom, really. And I was around you through the process, at least a little bit. You know, I couldn't be there all the time, but what I mean, this guy was the most optimistic person I've ever met. Just radiate joy through such a struggle. I could say that it was so inspiring that it even helped guide me in my life. Just seeing one of, a childhood friend of mine, someone I grew up every Friday eating pizza with, battle cancer with a smile on his face and sores in his mouth. And really great job, Tom.
Yeah, seriously, Tom. I got to reiterate everything Jake just said, because I completely agree with everything you said, and all of the outpouring of support from people you didn't even realize knew who you were, and that you may not have even met before. I completely understand and agree and relate to everything you said.
Yeah.
And the fact that you handled all that shit with a damn smile on your face.
It makes it easier. It's not easy to get the smile up, but once you got it up, it does.
I completely agree with that, but
it's simpler said than done. But if it can be done, there's advantages. Sometimes you gotta be sad too, though. Sometimes you gotta be sad too. That's important too.
So awesome, Tommy. Thank you so much. And you say you're fortunate to be here to share your story with us. We're really fortunate to have you. And your words were so beautifully put together. As nervous as you were, you still put on that smile, and it became so natural. And I just want to thank you for that. And like Carla said, a lot of our message is about turning around to the person in CVS and saying hello and asking them how their day is going, just to keep it simple. And, just making that human connection is so important, because we truly never know someone's story and what they've been through, what they're experiencing. Even with all of us on this call knowing that, sometimes we still look at someone and say, they have no struggles. They have such a great family, such a good life. We know nothing, we don't know what's goes on in anyone's home. But, or head, which is so important.
Yep.
So no, I just want to thank you for sharing your story. And I can't wait to, get to know you more in person, when we can do all these fun activities that Tigger House has planned. So thank you.
Thank you. You hit it on the head.
Thanks, Tommy.
Anyone else have any questions? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Michaela.
I just wanted to thank him for coming and tell him that he's such an inspiration, you know, for all of us. And you really reminded us of, you know, to have that positive mindset, because I think sometimes in life it gets hard to have that. So I think it's important to kind of have that reminder. But you also mentioned it's okay to feel the sadness and the negative emotions. So I think that's also important as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyone else?
Awesome.
Awesome. Tommy, I can't thank you enough. And
Yep.
just the way that you just told your story and made it so meaningful for all of us. Amazing, just amazing. And great stuff. Great stuff. I really thank you. I know it was probably hard to tell your story. It is a tough subject matter. So I thank you for your honesty, you know, and for your courage. And I think, you know, for our students, again, you know, we talk about addiction, but I think hearing from anyone who has gone through a struggle and learning that we have all that in our toolbox, we really are capable of strength, and you showed that. And I just want our students to learn that, to know they have it. And luckily they have a support group, like you said, here. So we are here for anyone who wants to reach out. Don't be afraid to ask for help, just like Tommy said. And that's what I'm going to leave you guys with. Thank you so
Awesome.
much. If anybody else has any questions and they want to reach out after, we're here for you. Tommy, thank you so much. You have a great evening. Thank you, everyone who came
Good night,
on. I know you're
guys.
all busy, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you guys do.
Thank you.
Oh, thank
Truly.
you.
Thank
Thanks,
you. Have a
Tommy.
good night.
Awesome.